I mean, we've talked about player power here at some point
I
in the
hate
show.
it.
So has he finally won? Isak released a statement, gets his move. Johan Wissa, elaborate statement, will be getting his move to Newcastle, even though Wissa's statement was more, elaborated. He thanked the fans in the end. He said even the gentleman's agreement he had it written. That was what Johan Wissa put out there. So, in all of this, do you think, clubs in the end have to give into a player power and allow players to get their move? At about time
one of the things that I know is that they say worry doesn't have pressure the bus pipe. For Wissa, I like how he came out and explained. The other players who were doing player power do not have that. From Lukman to every other person, Isak, did not come back and say, we have this thing written. And every sensible agent or sensible football analyst in the globe that I have listened to have sided with my position. So I don't feel like I said anything wrong that I should apologize to anybody for. Having said that, I think this will set the tone for the new set of contracts that will be signed. Listen, I will go back and I will say it again. When you sign a contract with a club, put all the clauses you need.
Even gentleman's agreements, everything should be.
What the hell is gentleman agreement? Define it. What is gentleman agreement?
Sometimes when you're having a conversation with somebody, it might just be random, and you have this agreement that, okay, he's going to do this for you. At that point, there might not be any need to say, okay, you want to bring paper to sign. I don't know if you get what I'm trying to say.
I get what you're saying, but what
there
might
not be time to say, okay, bring paper, let's sign and stuff like that.
Is small business talk lifted into big business. There are gentleman agreement that works, amongst us, and it also causes a lot of problem as well. That one is one side. Do you know how many gentleman promises have been made about things and it didn't work? I didn't even get mad to talk because, well, what am I saying? I'm the fool now. It's fool me once, fool me twice, fool me whatever. If I don't learn the lesson, I'll continue to fool myself. Now, but listen, in big business and football, when you get to that level, at the MPFA, you can have a gentleman agreement. It's a small club, it's crayfish, it's okay. Championship, lower league, there are a lot of gentleman agreements and you can go with it. But you see that Premier League, this is your last rodeo, whether you like it or not. Once you get to the Premier League, you get to La Liga, you get to that top flight league, is your last rodeo, is your big stage. Everything you do should have your team involved. Don't go and have a kiss and tell conversation with somebody and say, don't worry, that will come in. Because they too, you remember when Redknapp said he made a bet with Yakuba Egbeni?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, if he scored 20 goals, you give him $20,000.
Yeah,
£20,000. And then he had forgotten. Yakuba Egbeni scored 4 goals in the final day, and they substituted him, and he was angry. And then when the game ended, they won. I think they won 5-1 or so, but the big margin. And then Yakuba Egbeni was angry in the dressing room, and he was wondering, why is this guy angry? You scored 4 goals today. This is supposed to be a good one for you, and you are angry. And Yakubu said, I just missed the chance to get £20,000. And then that's why I remember, I would have removed him since. The thing is, that kind of gentleman's agreement work. But just imagine for a minute that Yakubu Egbeni scored 20. Portsmouth got relegated. Do you think that gentleman's agreement will hold? It might not hold. Or Yakubu Egbeni scores 20, but in between, before the season ends, they've sacked a Redknapp. Does Yakubu Egbeni have any evidence, any basis to go collect that money? So you must look at all of this and say that gentleman agreement is bad for business. It is very, very bad for business. Have you not seen somebody who's selling provision shop? Somebody will come and buy things and say, I'll pay you later. And then they did not write it. And then when it's time for payment, my mom did provision business. That was a very regular thing. My wife now have a business where she says, and I always tell her, have a ledger. In accounts, I'm a science student, but we're taught in account class that the ledger is the principal book of account. That's why you put your profit and loss in, and I can set a ledger for you. These are the outgoing, these are the incomings, this is the inflow, and your cash flow. You will know. Mr. John Obukomena bought goods worth this 5,000 for credit, and if you even have space, you itemize all the things that they bought. You put the date. If he come so argument, because some people will come and tell you they did not buy that, then you will not start shouting, I leave it for God. God will judge you. No, you are a foolish businessman. That's what gentleman's agreement does. And I always tell my wife that that's what will happen. Somebody will buy something, go, and tomorrow tell you nothing. We'll start looking for trouble so that they don't pay. But if you have a written note and you show that this is what you owe me, you say, They know that you take record. They even take you a lot more serious, right? Now, if you follow the sequence of this gentleman agreement, the one thing that the players are hanging on is that, hey, if they don't send me, I will not play now, which make footballers stupid. This is the reason why I keep telling you, I tell you all the time, I don't like football. I cannot be friends with footballers. Footballers are the most useless people. When I tell you that nobody backstab, nobody betray, this is professional sports. You came from Real Sociedad where they pay you this type of money because you had 2 good seasons that we enabled you to have, that you never had in your life, 24 goals and 27 goals, and then all of a sudden, you're not too big for this club. It's not like your salary is bad. Though. It's not like you've ever earned something bigger than this before. It's not like you've ever seen anything bigger. If you're that good, make us win the Premier League. Because you won one Carabao Cup, person will go hear what again. And then all of a sudden, you say you are hanging on gentleman's agreement and ignoring contracts that we have. You say I have 3 more years. You're ignoring that. The reason Newcastle are doing this is that if I have a chance to make 130, anybody is stupid enough to pay 130 million, we can take the insult, take the 130 million, rebuild our squad. We've had Alan Shearer in this team before. We've had players, somebody who scored 30 goals on a regular basis. Not be you. You're not the first person to score 27 goals, for Newcastle. That is one of the things that they made a business decision and allowed this recalcitrant, stupid, senseless idiot of a player go to Liverpool. I pray. You don't wish people bad. I pray he scores 30 or 40 goals, but he's going to a team that's not going to be built around him. Yeah, maybe next season, Mo Salah will not be there again. Yeah, it could happen. But that Ugo Ekitike that I saw is willing to fight. I'm not sure he's going to drop his shirt and say, oh, ye master, come and take over your throne. It doesn't look like that kind of player unless he gets injured. Liverpool have benefited, have gained. But I don't want to see, because you sitting here looking at me with your eye like frog eye. I remember when you there and won't cry because Trent Alexander-Arnold refused to sign and give you people the opportunity to. He was a boyhood club.
Newcastle are making 130.
No, it is sweet you.
This is different.
No, it is sweet you. Say they don't. Undress Newcastle.
You know how funny this is? Why some Newcastle fans are angry. Some are happy Wisa is doing the same at Brentford to get to their club as well.
This is where I'm going to now. For Wisa, the difference between a gentleman agreement and a written agreement, Alexander Isak have no case. But Wisa, having come out to say, I have this written down, and Brentford did not come out to.
I think his statement was quite
to dispute it. You can see that from that statement, the position of Brentford changed. Like, okay, these guys, they know what they are doing. They let him go. They also made money from it. That's why I say analysis is about the individual merit of every case. You cannot lump everything together.
True. Yeah.
In the case of Wisa, it's not player power, it is contract power. Wisa was standing on the basis of his contract. His leg was standing on the terms of his contract that is spelled out, written out.
And at some point he trained. Not like he down tools totally.
He didn't down tools.
He didn't play.
He didn't lock up, wear glasses, and form a big boy.
I
pray that Isak doesn't play one season at Liverpool, have a 30-goal season, and Madrid comes calling, and then he goes on the strike again. Emmanuel will be here.
No, it's not happening. It's a 6-year contract.
So it was 3 years not remaining in his Newcastle contract. You dey mad. What can be? You are really. You see, this is after that they'll say why this is why they use thunder fire people.
But look at all of this. Sometimes clubs are not innocent. Look at what's happening to Nicholas Jackson.
There is no innocence in business.
Well, that sums it up.
You know this thing. You're playing moral card in business. In this business, the business, he who pays the piper dictates the tune. I've seen people talk about this Jackson thing and they say Chelsea is wicked. I was like, you get sense at all. What is the rule of loan? Do you know that your player can be on loan and you can recall the loan at any time? This is not the first time. It's not even a loan that have started it. It's not a loan that has been
signed as well. Yeah, it was just on his way.
Loans that have been signed. Arsenal did it with one player. They withdraw. They had injury problem. They called the player on loan. Many clubs have done it. Why is Chelsea's own? Chelsea is like, okay, go. You get the deal was good. Chelsea was going to make 80 million from a player that Mikel Obi, and almost everybody says a useless player. 80
Maybe people are
million.
looking at it from the emotional side. Jackson was ostracized.
And
while he
then
was,
they do
just,
emotion.
I'm just saying maybe that's where people are looking
my
at it from.
analysis not got all this emotion. If they have see banter is for emotion. But if we want to do analysis, we could do them based on the rules. We cannot model what Chelsea have done with what Isak has done. Isak have a contract, a valid contract with Newcastle. Is hinging on a conversation, a side conversation that he had outside the ambit of his contract. The thing I want to talk now, people go this.
No,
Like this is like. No, let me not say it. Let's just leave it going like that. But in the case of Chelsea and Nicholas Jackson, first, if he goes to Bayern, he will still not be a starter. People are arguing now that if he comes back to Chelsea, he will not be starting. But is it not good for a big club? Is that not what makes you a big club? For a big club to know that we have a problem. Was Arsenal going to sign Eze before? No. Arsenal was not going to sign Eze. If Kai Havertz did not get injured, as we talk so, many things could not happen wrong. This has happened before. When Ronaldinho, when David Beckham, you said in this documentary, David Beckham was a target for Barcelona, not Real Madrid. But when Madrid played against Manchester United and they won that game that Ronaldo da Lima scored a hat-trick at Old Trafford and Beckham told him, come to Madrid, will you come to Madrid? And all those talk. And then the move was going, and then Sir Alex Ferguson also had a problem with Beckham, his choice of wife, which is very strange, but we've seen stranger things anyway. And they sold him to Madrid. The whole business turned around. Remember, Cristiano Ronaldo was not even supposed to come to Man United. Man United signed Cristiano Ronaldo. Ronaldinho was the player that was caught between going to Old Trafford or going to Madrid. Beckham now signed Ronaldinho. And the transfer triangle changed. Remember, they signed him that money and he played in the evening. Right? If you understand this business, the things that happen is like a duck on top of water. It's gliding on top of water, but underneath, its leg is struggling. So behind the scene, many things are going on. If that story didn't come out, like Mikolo said, if that story didn't come out that it was Eze that called Mikel Arteta, people will say, oh, Levy does not know what he's doing. He's a bad owner. But then you saw what happened. Somebody called and said, now you really want to play for Alpha. And then coincidentally, somebody got injured. He could still have made that call. Kai Havertz maybe came in as a sub and scored 2 goals. Eze no go there Arsenal right now. Nobody will be talking about Eze. And the whole story will be that, Levy is a smart businessman. But now because I've seen expressions shouting and making, I like his show, I like his content anyway, and doing all the things. I think he's one of the best content creators right now for me, and everybody's complaining that Levy is stingy, is this, is that. No, there are things that go on behind the scene. Where the player wants to go, what the player wants for himself and all of that also add to it. This guy wants to fulfill his mother's prophecy that said one day you play for this club and all the prayers and all that. And he did. He achieved it yesterday. Long story short is that some deals, when they happen, is going to be dirty. But stop hinging on gentleman's agreement. You tell me, say, I tell you, no. Let's leave all that. Let's do the business the way it is. One thing I know is that this transfer window will make clubs strengthen their deals. Yeah. You see why when players are not happy with Pep, he lets them go straight up. People say Pep is not romantic. Sometimes he should even beg the player. They are senior players. These are the reason. These are the reason why Pep does not want a player to feel like he's bigger than the club. It's Isak team. No, Isak no dies. These are the problem. These are the kind of things that are coming. You do this with some small club, but you can't do it with big club. If Isak was playing for Liverpool, you think he can do this nonsense? You have 3 years on your contract. You can try this nonsense. Liverpool can afford to not sell him and leave him there and make him suffer. Yeah. Arsenal can afford to do the same thing. Did they not let Aubameyang go for free? Man United where they use text messages. Alex Ferguson use text messages to sack people. The greatest captain, one of the greatest captain of Manchester United, Roy Keane, how did they sack him? You understand? So some of these things are not caught in black and white, but let's try as much as possible to do what is right and avoid the wrong one. And I've seen a lot of people tag me, oh, this deal did not go through. Is it because you have bad agent? You cannot use negative to defend negative. Let me just pull that one out. One guy called Kesh, Emmanuel Kesh or whatever his name is. You cannot use negative to defend negative. Show me people who are doing it right and then use it to justify your recalcitrant idiots of players. Don't come out and use bad. Oh, like politics. They say, I'm not the only one who stole. What's the other person that stole? They are trying to victimize me. Okay, you thief. If you thief, then you thief. EFCC is chasing you because you thief. EFCC not go chase somebody who not thief anything. Simple. That's why I say it.
Well, why there are some Alexander Isak out there who are down tools to get their move. There are some who has handled it really professionally well.
Yeah.
I always give credit to McGay. I mean, he's been playing games for Crystal Palace despite the fact that he wants to leave. The risk in playing a player that wants to leave because he might just hamper the movie if he gets injured. But he's been playing games after game, played over the weekend, even scored. And we hear that he might not be. So, there are some that handle it professionally.
Isn't that the right way we want to
play
see
their games,
it's
and they'll get their move
we
eventually
have
as
too
well.
many crybabies on social media who just think that, when we're growing up, we used to love the team, not the players. And even the national team, we used to love them. That's why I can distance my personal relationship. I mean, the class of 94, I have the most number of friends from the class of 94 than any other class of the national team, right? Who are my personal friends. I can call, they'll pick my call, they can call me, we'll talk. But now them are the blast pass. Because in all of the time they were playing the ball, my love was for the Super Eagles of Nigeria, not for the individual.
Yeah.
Olise is my greatest Nigerian player of all time. Sunday Olise is my greatest Nigerian. I don't criticize Sunday Olise too. Olise now, for where I did, a legend. Like no Nigerian player can touch Olise. When he was the coach of the Super Eagles, I criticize him, Like, people like, now this same Olise, where you the one use praise skill for us, now you the criticize. I said, yeah, I did. It's the job that I do. People should also understand that these jobs will take a whole lot. And you need to do it and go home. And when you think that, okay, those things that I say, did I say it the right way? Especially now that it is evidenced by recording, it's going to last forever. Your children will see it. I don't really care about other people. My children will see it. I'm like, Daddy, you were very stupid, though. I know my kids can get to that place and say that kind of thing. Like, Daddy, this was not fair. Now, this you said, I cannot sit them down and explain to them why I said it and then leave them to reason. Or believing that their frontal cortex would have expanded well, matured well, and they would understand why I said that without prejudice or without any bias or sentiment, right? So it's the way you go about it. If you have a contract where it's spelled out, when Ancelotti left Everton, as he signed for Everton, he put a clause in his contract that when XYZ club, he even named them in the contract, like Real Madrid comes, there's not going to be any problem. You would collect your 4.6 million and I will go. This is a downgrade job for me. But this is, you saw how in the middle of the season, they were not problem. He just left and he just left and went because it was spelled out. Now, people talk about all these things. Eric Ten Hag has been fired today, right? People forget that he will be paid the full sum of his contract as agreed upon. So, sacking him after 2 games, bad for his record, good for his bank account. Do you know how much? Nobody ever think for the owner of the club. Like, if that's your business, do you like it? Hey, you will make money, but he spent it. They've already signed one striker for about 90 million. And the reason why that striker was that expensive was because people know that, they have 130 million to come from here. So the player that is not proven, that nobody knows, is on that price. That's the way these things work. So sometimes we should also consider for the owner of the club, because the biggest spender, the owners of the club. All the players you love in this team, now that guy pockets. Bring Nama, bring meat. Give me soya. Now Nama, Malu body when they come out. One day, I only bone and I go shop.
Well, guys, that's as much as we can take on the show today. Keep dropping the comments, keep liking our videos, keep sharing, keep taking cuts, putting it out there. Thank you so much if you've been with us. My name is Emmanuel Sebastian. I've done this with the Elevator Wonder Sports. Till we come away again next time. Bye-bye.